Well, hello everybody. I'm Mr. Wally of the Jackson County Library Services. I'm the children's librarian here at the Medford Library. You're in my library right now. How fun is that? Well, are you ready to hear a story? Today's tale is of Little Red Riding Hood, and this is how the story goes. Once upon a time there was, and twice upon a time there wasn't, a little girl. Well, I don't know what this little girl's name is. But let me tell you, everyone loved her. She was really quite special. She had a happy heart. Her parents were always appreciative of her, just general good nature. She laughed a lot, she skipped places, did cartwheels. She was never a bother. And the people in the village, they just thought the world of her. She had great manners. She's please and thank you, and she was always polite. But it was her grandmother. Really they had a great bond, those two. So one day, the grandmother thought, I want to make something special for my little girl here. And she got this beautiful piece of velvet, crimson, gorgeous. And she found some very special silver buttons. And she cut out a beautiful cloak. And she attached a hood to that cloak. She bundled it all up and put it in some beautiful, beautiful paper and presented it to this little girl. And the little girl opened it up. It was just the most marvelous thing she had ever seen in her entire life. Well, it came from her grandmother, and that made it even more special. So she put on that cloak with the hood. And she loved it so much that everywhere she went, she wore that thing. And before you know it, she had a little name attached to her. No one ever called her by her real name, but they all called her Little Red Riding Hood. Well, one day, her mother calls her into the kitchen. The Little Red Riding Hood, I need you to take this basket of goodies to your grandmother's house. And the Little Red Riding Hood says, certainly, Mother. And the mother said, now I need you to listen to me. I know you know this forest well. You've been to your grandmother's house dozens of times. But I hear that there's a wolf about in the forest, and I need you just to go to your grandmother's house. Drop off the basket, say hello, give her, good wishes, and then get yourself home. No dawdling. Okay? Riding Hood, certainly, no problem, Mother, I can do that for you. So she picked up the basket and she put on her cloak with the little red hood, and she opened the door and out the back she went, and vamonos, up the path into the forest. Away she went. Well, it was springtime, and the flowers were blooming, and the forest wasn't near as dark as it would be later in the year. Nevertheless, it was a deep wood. She made her way up the path. Careful, keep her eyes out. And again, remember, Little Red Riding Hood, she has a sweet disposition. She never really thought ill of anybody. So when she saw the wolf sitting there in the middle of the path, well, all she could do, when the wolf said, hello, Little Red Riding Hood, where are you off to today? And Little Red Riding Hood didn't think anything outside of, well, I'm going to be polite. He asked me a question. He says, hello, Mr. Wolf. Well, I'm carrying this basket of delicious treats to my grandmother's house. She's not feeling too well, and I think that these treats will, help to put a little spring in her step, bring some sunshine into her life. Thought the wolf. There's a tasty little treat right here, but if I play this right, I could have the little girl and the grandmother too. And he thought, and he looked at the Little Red Riding Hood and says, Little Red Riding Hood, oh, well, that's so very wonderful of you, taking a basket of treats to your grandmother, your sick grandmother. It warms my heart. But I see you running, and it's not a school day. Why are you in such a hurry? Look at the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and there's flowers everywhere. You know what I think? I think your grandmother would really love some of those little flowers that are growing all over this meadow right here. Why don't you set the basket down and go pick some? Your grandmother would really, really love some of those flowers, guaranteed. Well, Little Red Riding Hood didn't think too hard on that one. She thought, God, that's a beautiful idea. That's brilliant. I think I'll do that. And so she sat down, the basket on right there on the trail, and she looked as she picked a flower, and then she looked over and said, there's another beautiful flower. I'll pick that one too. And she did. And then there's another beautiful one, and she picked that one. And before you know it, pick, 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 pick. She's deep into the meadow. Well, with that, off went the wolf. Good-um, 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 all around the outskirts of the forest, and good-um, 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 till he got to the clearing where Granny's house was. It was a cute little house, a little stone thing, thatched roof, and beech trees, and tulips coming up in the front. And he walked up to the front door, and he knocked, and he lowered his voice, made it kind of sweet and treacly, and said, Grandmother, I'm here with a basket of treats for you. And Grandmother inside called out and said, hey, I can't get to the door, sweetie. You're going to have to let yourself in. Just open it up, push the door in. I'll get it on the way out. Well, with that, the wolf ran into the house, and he saw Granny in the bed, and Granny, ah! But clump, clump, clump. The wolf swallowed her up. And he got a nightgown that was hanging off of the bed, and he put it on, and he got a little cap, pulled it down tight over his head, and he jumped into bed and pulled the blankets right up to his eyeballs. That was the only thing that you could see. And he waited for Little Red Riding Hood. Well, Little Red Riding Hood, she finished gathering up all those flowers, and she put them in the basket, and she looked down. They looked really great. And she picked up that basket, and tra-la-la, down the path she went. She was already a happy kid. She's happier than she's ever been in her life. Beautiful basket full of flowers. So she made her way through the trail and up to the clearing, and there was her grandmother's house, and she walked up, and she was getting ready to knock on that door when she saw that the door was open. And she called out, Grandmother? Grandmother? Yes, said the wolf. Grandmother, are you in? Yes, said the wolf. Well, that didn't sound right. So she walked into the house, and she walked into her grandmother's bedroom, opened up the door, and there was Grandmother in the bed, or so she thought. She walked up to the bed. The wolf just stared, looked at her with those big eyes. She says, Grandmother, you must not be feeling well. Oh, Grandmother, those eyes, your eyes. Why are your eyes so big? Oh, the better to see you with, my dear, said the wolf. Oh, and Grandmother, your ears. Why are your ears so big? The better to hear you with, my dear, said the wolf. Well, he was holding on to the bed sheets with his paws. Grandmother, your fingernails, they're so long. The better to hold you with, my dear. Oh, but Grandmother, and by this point, the blanket had fallen down off the wolf's muzzles. And Grandmother, what terrible teeth you have. The better to eat you with, my dear. And with that snum, glom, glom, the wolf swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood. Oof, into the belly of the beast. Well, this time, the wolf was pretty full. He was pretty packed out. So he took off, the hat and the clothes, or the pajamas, fell onto the bed, landed on the pillow, closed his eyes, and started snoring. About this time, the hunter was walking through the forest, and he's walking down the path, and the path went right by Granny's house. And he heard that snoring. Well, he had to go check that out. And he walked up, saw that Granny's door was open, but he knocked on the door frame. There's a Granny? Granny, are you in? And all he could hear was the snoring. Well, the door was open, and that was just as good as an invitation. And walked the hunter, and he walked up to the bed, and there was the wolf, as big as day, belly distended from Granny and Little Red Riding Hood in there and snoring. Well, the hunter, he raised up his rifle and was just about ready to shoot when he thought, I I better not do that. Granny might be in there. So he ran into the kitchen and he found some scissors and he ran back into the bedroom and snip, 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 snip. And he opened up that wolf and out popped Little Red Riding Hood. Out popped Granny. A little worse for wear and tear. They were thankful to see him. Well, the hunter, he wasn't done, and he ran over to the fireplace, and Granny, of course, had her little fire going, and he got all the embers, and, he got a ton of other things that were there, and he ran back to the bed, and he stuffed them inside the hole there in the wolf's belly, and then he sewed it all up and gave that wolf a kick. Well, the wolf woke out of that nap, and went running through the door, and went running through the forest. I don't think he was ever seen again. And the wolf was gone. So that left the hunter and Granny and Little Red Riding Hood to sit around the kitchen table and enjoy that basket of goodies. There's the shortbread and those other treats and that bottle of stimulating beverage. And when that was done, the hunter went on down the road and Granny said goodbye to Little Red Riding Hood. And Little Red Riding Hood walked back home. And I don't think she ever talked to a wolf again after that day. And I bet you any money she always listened to her mother after that too. And Dilly Down Dale, that's the end of that tale.